and because we're on a kind of a time crunch here, so each presenter has 20 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, one of us is going to get a signal. She's either Casey's going to throw something to you or throw it to me, and I'll let you know you have 5 minutes left, okay? Because we have a boom boom, and then we got another meeting after this. So we will get started now with ASA's presentation and Dr. Mark Jornstedt. If you'd like to, please.
Thank you, President. Appreciate that. Members of the board. I've got to start with, first of all, thanking the members of the board, Mr. Alexander, Mr. Maglio, Mrs. Steen, Mrs. Gill, Mrs. Webster, for your service. One of the most challenging positions in modern day public life is being a member of a school board. First of all, there's the high pay.
Yes.
Secondly, there's the completely quiet, non-polarized environment that we're spending our time in.
But we get candy.
And thirdly, it's, and the banquet that's served at every meal.
Yes.
So, but we appreciate your service to the community, your service to the schools, to the families, to the children. So thank you. I just want to start by saying that.
Dr. Jornstedt, could I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
I was in such a flutter. I got into this, and we didn't adopt the
It's my fault.
agenda.
No, being like, yeah.
So I do need
Don't let me get
to,
in the way of an agenda.
right? Because you're part of it. Or maybe. We'll find out in a minute.
Yeah.
Could we get an adoption of the agenda, please?
I'll move to adopt the special agenda for the special session for November 14th. October 14th, 2025.
I'll second.
This is going to be like a humor thing to listen to after this. Anyway, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Dr. Jornstedt, I'm so sorry for that, so we can continue on with your,
Can we move
Presentation.
that? It's like
Move
he's
what?
behind their backs.
Thank you,
I can
members.
turn.
Is this loud enough?
Well,
Yes.
this
Otherwise,
is-
I'll use my
Okay.
playground voice.
what we're doing is we're live streaming. This isn't
Okay.
doing anything for us here. So you might want to use your playground voice for us, if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Do you
Well, we appreciate, on behalf of ASA, thank you for inviting us to offer our services to your district as you look for a new leader. In our opinion, you've had quite a few years of continuous excellent leadership, so you're looking for someone who's got big shoes to fill, both regular shoes and high heels. And I worked with Dr. Carlson for many years, and Barbara and I have worked together in various organizations as well. So it's a big decision, one of the most important decisions a governing board ever makes. So we offer our services to be part of that. Why ASA? And I guess I should say, he introduced me. Mark Jornstedt's my name. I've been in Arizona education for, I guess, politely I could say decades. Finishing my career as a superintendent, and then I was the executive director of the Arizona School Administrators for many years as well. And now, working with that organization, I conduct searches around the state to assist boards in deciding who will be their next leader. And I say assist because, first of all, I want to say the services we offer, facilitative services, you make the decision. You call the shots. We assist, we facilitate, we help remind you of what the laws allow, but the decision ultimately is made by the governing board members. You're invested by state law with doing that, and we will try to make the search go as well as possible to bring in a wide net of very qualified candidates and lead you through a process that we think will ferret out who is the best one. But ultimately, the decision is up to the governing board, and I remind myself of that all the time when I'm doing those searches. ASA has an expert team that would be at your beck and call, and I will include myself in that. since Dr. Paul Ty, who many of you might have known when he spent 6 years out at the Saddle Mountain Unified School District as its superintendent, and then he's now in charge of ASA. Many of you met Tim Ogle over the years when he headed up as executive director of the Arizona School Boards Association. And then we have other office staff who work with us as well. In this case, should you decide to utilize ASA, I would be the facilitator that would work with you directly. But other people in the background would provide service as well. And so we feel like we have experts. We have deep roots in Arizona education. I came down to Arizona in 1989, which I thought was going to be temporary, to get a doctorate. And 30 plus years later, it seems like it's been a more permanent move. But in that case, in time, I've held positions, various positions in school districts up to and including superintendent. And Paul Ty has similarly been in Arizona about, we always just use the term a few decades because it's lighter and nicer. But our gray hair shows something otherwise, perhaps. And we're a nonprofit, so we're not in this to make money. We were asked a couple of years ago by some school districts to provide some search services, so we do. Doesn't mean we don't charge, but we charge about what our expenses are encumbered. So we're not in this as a money-making activity at all. We're in this as a service activity. Proven results. We have, I think since we started in the fall of 22 doing this, and we've done about 20 districts so far throughout the state, both in the bigger counties like Maricopa, but also in the smaller counties too. I'm currently working in Graham County with the Pima Unified School District. And I've done districts from Winslow to Globe, Blue Ridge to Cottonwood. I think I've done 4 in Yavapai County. So we feel like we are trusted. We've brought people into positions, and boards have looked at the array of candidates and chosen who is the best fit. We do make a national outreach as well. Again, that's up to the board, but if you would like us to look nationally, we know everyone in Arizona. We feel like we do, and that's, I don't know if that's good or bad sometimes. When people say, I know you, and I go, oh, okay, well, pardon me. But we do a national outreach as well. We probably place more candidates from within the state than from without Arizona, but there's interest in Arizona. There definitely is, and there will be interest in this position. It's a solid community, solid reputation as a district, academically successful, good leadership, a stable board, a community that has access to Metro Phoenix, but also has a rural flavor, which a lot of people like, to not to be living among skyscrapers, but maybe have access to go downtown to an event, but not to live by it. We would offer a couple goals here. An outcome goal, to select the highest qualified, best fit superintendent to lead Wickenburg School District into the future. And highest qualified, somebody might come in and apply who is 20 years as a superintendent in Chicago Public Schools. And you'd say, well, that's a person who's well qualified. Is that a person who's the best fit for Wickenburg Elementary? Perhaps not. Perhaps that's a person who's you say, well, we need something done, we'll put a team to work on it. In districts of this size, you don't put a team to work on it. Often the superintendent says to a couple of the associates, either you do it, or I'll do it. That's it. There's not 1,000 people at work on this. So the other goal is a process goal, that whatever process is used to choose the superintendent, it be transparent, and it includes stakeholder input. It's not going to be the board will go into a dark room and pull all the shades down and huddle and come out and say, here's your new superintendent. No, it will be a transparent process with stakeholder input. How much stakeholder input? That's something the board decides. We can make a lot of suggestions to you, but ultimately you're in charge of your search. You're the people elected by the community to make decisions like this. Okay, let's move on here. I'll try not to use more than a half hour of time and leave my colleagues a few minutes. There's five, we usually our searches take 5 stages, but they can take 6 stages. Stage 1, review, come up with a search process, decide how much stakeholder input you want, set up a timeline, decide on the information you want in the listing or the posting. All of that is done. Secondly, in that stage, you're not very active as a board. Usually 1 meeting will suffice with 4 or 5 agenda items will suffice for number 1. Number 2, that's when we're working, we're recruiting, posting. If you've decided on a community survey, maybe that community survey is underway. If you've decided on a staff survey, that might be underway. Some boards have used both, some have used neither. There are a variety of ways that can be done. It can be done with videos as well. It's completely, again, up to the board as to decide. So stage 3 is this very important one, the screening of applicants. The screening, the paperwork, and you would face, let's say you get 20 applicants. I think that's a possibility, certainly. The question you have as a board is, do you want to read the paperwork for 20 applicants? Or would you rather have us screen them out and say to some of these people, it's a Hail Mary. He's been a principal for 1 year and he now wants to be the superintendent. I call that a Hail Mary. I'll fling it up there and see if something happens. Well, that might not be what the district wants. So I might call that person and say, you're not competitive with these other candidates. They're just not. The board has decided they're looking for someone with deep administrative experience. And that, of course, decision you'll make in stage 1. What do we look for in a candidate? Do we want certain experiences? Do we not want certain experiences? So stage 1 and 2, open session. Stage 2, no meeting at all. Stage 3, we'll screen the applicants. That's done in executive session. We take care of all the proper legal notification to make those applicants to let them know their rights under AZ law. Stage 4, then, you interview candidates that you have screened and decided this person, we want to talk to them in person. They come at their own expense. We help facilitate that to make sure it's all legally done, that nobody makes any mistakes. Nobody asks questions like, what's your religion? And by the way, whom did you vote for? We won't do any of that. They might choose to tell you, but that's a different story. So that's in executive session. Then you come out of executive session and in front of the public, you say, these are the people we're going to interview. And at that point, we notify the candidates and say, your name is going to be publicly tied to this search now. It might have been confidential up to this point, but once you're a finalist, then everybody knows. Then stage 4, the interviews themselves, maybe that'll include a public forum, a public meeting of some kind, a meet and greet with the candidates. Again, who makes that decision? You do. The governing board decides where they want the stakeholder input, how much they want. At that point, you interview, sometimes people interview 3 or 4 and they say, this one person was it. We've got our person. Sometimes you interview 3 or 4 or 5 and say, there are 2 really good ones. We want to come back one more time and talk to those 2. So that might take us to finalist interview, stage 5, or we might jump from 4 to 6 that you decided when you interviewed. There was one candidate clearly stood out, and you want to enter into contract negotiations with that candidate, and then the board would approve this. And when is all that timeline for these stages set up? By you in the first meeting in stage 1. You decide how long you want to take it. Okay. I think I covered this. I'm trying to keep track of my time here pretty well, but again, what's done in executive session, what's done in open session, but any decision, remember, made in executive session is brought back out into the public meeting and in front of God and the world said, this is the person we're going to interview, this is the person we're going to offer a contract to. That's very important. Okay, let's go on to duties and responsibilities. What are the duties and responsibilities of the ASA? Okay, so consulting with the board throughout the search process, providing agenda language to, in this case, Casey perhaps, for all the meetings so that the agenda language is completely appropriately legal, collaborating with you on the timeline, publicizing the vacancies, facilitating a community survey or other community input that you might want. It could be a moderated session with the candidates. It could, whatever you decide to do. I do the communication with the applicants. You don't worry about that. That's on us to deal with that. Moderating a community forum if desired, and maintaining strictest confidentiality, so important. A lot of these things take place in executive session, and remember how each executive session starts with reading the admonition, and we all agree to follow the admonition, especially in a superintendent search. It's very important that in a small community especially, rumors fly. I grew up in one, I've lived in one, I've been a superintendent in one, that you have to go above and beyond. Like Caesar's wife, you must remain above suspicion, and that so there's no perception that one candidate has an advantage over another. We'll talk about that a little more as we go on here. What are your responsibilities? Stay awake during meeting, no. Adhere to all the Arizona statutes. Refer all communications with applicants to me. Let me handle that. Otherwise, if somebody sees you talking to an applicant, they might go, oh, the board president, I saw him talking to that applicant. They got that's in the bag for them. Even though it might have been a perfectly innocent conversation. That's why if someone calls you and said, I'm really interested in the job, you tell them, call Mark. Just shove it right off to me.
5 minutes.
Thank you. Being present for required meetings. Providing information as needed, and I would work a lot with Casey on that, and depending on how it goes with the board president as well. Sometimes the superintendent is involved, sometimes the superintendent is not involved. I've been involved in searches that have gone both ways that way. Determining the final candidate, entering into contract negotiations, adhering to the law, and again, this is one that we share. Maintaining strictest confidentiality, because people will come up to you, they know you, the community, they voted for you, and they say, how's that search going? You'll say, it's proceeding. If they want to know more, you can say it's proceeding with all regard to Arizona and United States statutes. If you want to know more, call Mark. And I won't answer, no, I won't. Okay. Couple recommendations. We recommend that the board follow a moratorium with contact with the media. If there's a media outlet involved, a newspaper or something, and they call you, want a statement on this, you say, call Mark. I'll handle that. When I did a search in Prescott a couple of years ago, I think I was on speed dial with a reporter for the Courier. She was very persistent. But second, this action supports transparency, and again, the perception that the board is conducting a fair, thorough process. Perception is so important in this. It's that people not only are you doing the correct thing, they see that you're doing the correct legal thing as well. It is also recommended that you not contact potential candidates. If you know of a potential candidate, call Mark. I will contact that candidate. I will not say, Mrs. Gill has suggested you'd be good. I will just say, one of the people in the community suggested your name. I won't even attribute it to the board, because then that person might think I got an edge. And they might tell people in the community, I got an edge because the board's, no. So just bear that in mind, please. It's recommended that, yeah, okay, I just said that. Follow your own script, Mark. Finally, this really prevents anyone from a perceived advantage, because perception becomes reality then. So we've got to, we will go above and beyond to make certain that the rumor mill doesn't find risk to chew on. Okay, probably should have said more than I've said, but I really enjoyed your mission statement, your vision statement. Every child has hope. Every student is a graduate. Every graduate has a dream. That reminded me of a poem that I was taught in grade school. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. So ideally, we would facilitate a search that would lead to every one of your graduates soaring, meeting their goals, meeting their dreams, because that vision would be our vision as well. So I'll take any questions if there's time. If not, I'll bow out.
Maybe you have questions for Mark at this point? Ron, anything for Mark?
I was looking through my stuff here, see if I had anything down that he didn't answer. So I think, no, I think I'm good.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate your kind attention.
We are being excited about this.
All right. Second presentation is with Arizona School Boards Association. We've got Julie Bacon and
Jeff Smith.
Jeff Smith. Thank you. I just apologize for that.
Good evening. Thank you so much for inviting us to present. My name is Julie Bacon, and I'm Director of Leadership Development for the Arizona School Boards Association. I am also a past governing board member. I call myself a recovering governing board member. I served 3 terms in the Paradise Valley Unified School District and went through 2 superintendent searches as a board member. So I can feel the angst that you're feeling right now. We are very excited to be invited to present to you, and also thank you for your service. We have had a successful track record finding superintendents for the Wickenburg School District, and so we're very thrilled to be here. And I'm going to let Dr. Smith introduce himself.
Good evening. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Dr. Jeff Smith, former superintendent. I was a longtime teacher, administrative principal in several different districts around Phoenix and the metropolitan area, Paradise Valley, Deer Valley. I was superintendent of the Balts School District in Phoenix, and I retired 5 years ago, and now I'm consulting with ASBA. Very pleased to be here.
Thank you. So the one thing you know about ASBA, you've seen all these people already. You know who we are. We have a whole team behind us, and we are very experienced at putting on events and managing processes. And so I just wanted you to see the whole team that is here. One of the things that we really think is attractive that we bring is we have Heidi Vega, who is our Director of Communications, also Spanish speaking, so she is very helpful in some forums if that's something that you decide that you want to do. We have dual language that we can do with our team. So the first thing we would do is a sample search timeline. This is, again, that's the first order of business. You run this search. I was board president one time when we did a search, and I went home to my husband and I said, "You're a consultant, right? You don't do superintendent search, but you do consulting." And he said, "Yes." And I said, do you work for the client, or does the client work for you? Because I felt like I was working for the search firm, and that will not happen with us, because that was even more stressful than it needed to be, and already was. So you are the client. We work for you, and you will set the standards. One of the things that we wanted to talk about was we'll communicate with you in the ways that you want to receive information. It's your search. But we have a couple of ideas. We can provide a weekly written update to the board. It can be included in the superintendent's weekly update if that happens, or it can come directly from us. And then we would connect with the board president and, of course, your administrative assistant to the board and superintendent, one of the most valuable people in the district. So that is how we would do that. We can, in the search timeline, if you would like, include updates directly to the board in a public meeting so that not only do you know what's happening, but your public knows what's happening and your staff know what is happening. And I'm going to let Dr. Smith go from here.
Thank you. Mark mentioned it, your website, you can see so much good information on your website. It's really up to date, very, very concise. And as I look at this, I see it's very easy to see the values that this community, this school district holds. For example, Champions for Children. It seems like you're looking for someone who's student-oriented, family-oriented, someone who has their focus on the family, on children, and their success. You talk about graduation and dreams. Someone who's visionary, someone who has high standards, and also someone who's motivating and has a compelling speaker, someone who can bring people together. And then that's also, we talk about a unified community, and that's someone who can unify, someone who can bring people together to work together. Those are some of the things that come to my mind as I look at your website and your district and what we know about your district and what you might be looking for in a leader, a new leader. And so as we went through this, we see that you have a cycle of improvement, and it aligns very closely with our cycle that we use for the search process. And we admire your emphasis on performance, and our search cycle also reflects that. And so as we see our search process, there's a needs assessment. We'll help you and your community define and determine what your needs are. So that is an important process to bring people together and to really take the time to think about what is it we really want as a district, where are we going, and how are we going to help choose a person that can help us bring to that vision, that reality. And then we develop a plan for success. And so this is where we want everyone to be successful. My goal with the entire process would be that everyone will walk away from the process better for it. The people that are taking part in the process will walk away knowing that they have taken part in it and that their voices were heard and that a good choice was made. And the board will feel like this is a good process and they'll feel good about it. Wouldn't that be terrible to go through this whole process and then have bad feelings? That isn't what we want. We want good feelings. We want everything to be good. And then I also want candidates, not only the person that gets the job, but the other people to feel good about what they've done, that they've been treated fairly, that they've had a good opportunity to show their best. And so my philosophy is bring out the best in people. Not try to trick them and see how they can mess up, but basically bring out the best in them so you can really see what they're capable of. And then we have monitoring and implementation. Well, in our case, that means a transition plan. With ASBA, you'll have the support of facilitation, of other types of facilitation or ways that we can support your district going forward as you transition with a new person. It's one thing to bring a new person in, but how do we transition? How do we bring the board and that new individual together, and perhaps others in the community, to come together to say, what do we want to do after the decision's made? Decision might be made months before they ever start. What do we do during that time? Can we bring them in? Can we work together? Can we hit the ground running? Can we work with Dr. Rendoni and make that a smooth transition for everybody? And then analyzing results goes into ongoing professional development that we can offer through ASBA, through facilitation, through mentoring and so on. And then also we have an excellent superintendent evaluation process if you want to look at that also with the new individual. High quality candidates is what it's all about. So a pool of high quality candidates is what we're really looking for. We will advertise this opening in all major platforms. With the board's permission, how far and wide you'd like to go, we'll go that far. And we'll also utilize an extensive professional development network that we have through Arizona School Boards Association. Personal touches to contact people, to encourage them to apply, to reach out there and say, who's out there that's really good, that may be thinking about it, but maybe hasn't quite decided that they'd like to make that step. Maybe we'll give them a call and encourage them to put in also.
One of the things about recruitment that I want to mention is, we have a very extensive network of school boards associations across the country. And I frequently talk with other school boards associations about Arizona candidates, and therefore can talk to others about candidates who might apply in Arizona. And we very much share information, and we go back and forth about what to do. The other thing is the website, the Revelis website that we use for our applicant tracking is through the Ohio School Boards Association. Many school boards associations use that, and they share candidates through that as well. So there's lots of different ways that we can do that. We can also advertise on ASA, AASA nationally. So we have that national reach as well. So community participation is something that we feel really strongly about. Of course, it's always up to you what that looks like and how it comes forth. But we have done student focus groups, we've done parent focus groups, we've done community forums, we've done finalists forums. So there's lots of different ways that we can configure that. And as you know, we are used to doing those kinds of things, and we have a staff that will support us in the background and you in person if need be. For interview prep, I think this is the hardest part sometimes, right? Because what do we ask, what do we say, but we want to be in that with you the whole time. So we will help you develop those questions. We have a list of sample questions that have been used in the past that we can share with you. We want you to look at the applications that you want to look at. We're not interested in telling you who's good, who's bad, unless of course you want us to. But we really encourage boards to look at every application that comes in. And that screening application done in executive session, one of the things that we will do to get community feedback is a leadership priorities survey. And that will, leadership profile, survey. And that will give us a starting point for what the community wants to see in the applicants and what you want to see in the applicants. Once we will be, Dr. Smith will be your lead consultant, and he will be the person in communication with all of the applicants. And he'll have support from our staff back at the office, and specifically Ben Adams is the administrative support for that. Using that leadership profile community survey, we would create a rubric for you so that you can evaluate the finalists based on the survey results, so that you are matching what the community wants to what you're thinking as you're doing these interviews. We can create an interview summary for you for each candidate. You let us know how we can help you best make the decision, and we will make that happen. And I'm going to let Jeff over here.
You know, I'm a very positive person, so I see challenges, but I also see opportunities. And for me, with this, the candidate pool has decreased over the past few years, but I don't see that as really the biggest issue. I'm very excited about the possibilities I'm picturing the brochure for Wickenburg. You know, to people that live in other parts of the country, this is like a dream come true. I mean, you're going to be living in a dude ranch or whatever. You know what I mean? This is really a beautiful community. It's growing. It's wonderful. And so I'm very excited. I'm sorry?
I said you will see horses trotting down the street.
But I think that's exciting. I look forward to being your biggest cheerleader. Going out there and saying, this is a wonderful place. There are people that don't necessarily know that they want to leave the place they're at. So sometimes a little bit of help can be a big help for them. And so that's what I see happening. We look forward to being that cheerleader for this district. And then we have also, with ASBA, you have a rich resource library. We have so much that we're able to support you with. If by chance you have a situation where you need to put an interim in for a time being, or mentoring, or whatever it may be that we want to be able to do to support the new person, or to redo the search, or do something differently, to be flexible, we can be flexible with all of those things. And then we are here to support you. As Julie said, we have experience providing the best searches. Our record of longevity is unparalleled, in my opinion. ASB has a very good reputation of matching people up. It's a little bit like matchmaking. You know, you need to find the right kind of candidates to be able to bring the people together, put the right kind of situations to where they can have a really good long-term relationship. And that's what we want, a long-term relationship. You've heard about maybe other districts where superintendent only lasts a couple of months or whatever it may be. It's just that's such a difficult situation. It can be so devastating to a community. And so we really want to help you to make the best decision that you can make in this regard. We'll work with your team. We'll work with Casey, with Barb. And that's so important because when the time comes to bring people together to say, we'd like your input. People like to hear that you want their input, but they want to hear that you're going to listen to their input and that you're not going to waste their time, that you're going to value their input. And so, you know, surveys, you can get input, but also bringing people together can be a very important part of the process for people to hear each other, to hear what other people are saying. That helps build community and helps build trust in the whole process. So when we're done and we're through the process, people can say, I took part in that. I'm a part of that decision that was made and I feel good about that. And then we also have a board president playbook, which is unique to ASBA. It's only available through ASBA, but it's an excellent resource for the board president to be able to kind of a playbook that you can work through and make sure you're kind of touching all the bases you need to. And then we have a transition. So meeting your new superintendent and governing board president, we'll plan a 3-hour facilitation. So we'll meet with the new superintendent that's been selected, your board president, to develop a personalized facilitation process for you after the selection has been made to help smooth that and make sure it's a really good transition for the individual and for the district. And it sets the tone early for the relationship also. You know, to think about that. When a selection might be made in March or April, but the person doesn't start until July. That can be a time that can really be used very wisely. And this is how you plan for success. That's our philosophy.
So that communication protocols training that we did, that we talk about, when I was board president, we got a new superintendent. I had to beg 2 of my board members to let ASBA come out and do that training. And one board member in particular was like, I don't need that. I've been on the board for 24 years. I don't need this. And I just said, please, can you give me 1 hour? Let me have 1 hour of a study session for it. She finally said yes. And at the end of the meeting, she says, well, I have something to say. And I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go. And she said, we needed this 24 years ago. And I said, yes, we did. Yes, we did. So it's a really great, I think, service and a way for you to start together and on the same page. So we have quoted you a fee, and that is the fee that we quoted you and the things that are included in that. We have some other ways that you can do in terms of adding on some services. And we can have these conversations. We are totally flexible. 5 minutes, I saw.
Sorry.
I saw you.
To interrupt you.
And so we just wanted to give you a couple of other options for this. And one of the options is to have up to 15 one-hour coaching sessions with Dr. Smith after the superintendent has been placed and is working, so that there's some coaching that's available there. Here's our team. We would be very excited to serve you, and I am happy to answer any questions, as is Dr. Smith.
Anybody have questions?
Well, you gave us that presentation 5 years ago or 6 years ago, whatever
Yes.
it was.
Yeah.
So 3 of you, right, were,
Mhm.
3 of you were
Four.
on, 4
Four.
of you were on the board.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah, we did the work
yeah.
6
So
years ago. So.
I was just curious,
That'll work.
what have you changed in your process and everything since then?
So since I became director of leadership development for ASBA, I am really about a team approach to everything. I don't want to send one lone person out into the world, into the wild, without a lot of support. So that is something that we have changed and really tightened up since I've taken the position. The playbook, the board president playbook, is something that is new too in the past couple of years. I think it's something that allows board presidents to follow along, even though we're gonna guide you the whole way. It gives you something to look at, and that's feedback that we've gotten from other searches, where the board presidents were like, I didn't know what I should do next. And so we wanted to just give them something that's written down that you can open up and you can look at and you can say, oh, okay, we're right on time. We know what we're doing. And then we just have that ability, I think, and a lot of experience around community forums. We've done a number of community forums in all across the state, but some pretty robust ones when Roosevelt Elementary School District did their last search, and that turned out great. The community felt very involved. So those are just a few things that I think are a little bit different.
Okay. Now, I have another question. I got kind of mixed up as you were talking about community survey. Whether you conducted and compiled a community survey.
We would work with you, the board,
Uh,
and then we would give you the link to the survey. And then you can send it out far and wide, however you want, students, staff, community members, wherever you want to post it. Then we would get the data through our SurveyMonkey instrument and compile that, organize it, and give it to you in a way that's digestible.
Okay.
So it's not just a bunch of numbers and comments.
Okay. And one other thing. Did you say, I mean, and here on, that all applicant packages would be given to us, that you wouldn't pre-screen any at all?
We can do anything that you want, but we have traditionally given all applications to board members. That's just something that's happened at ASBA. It's a process that we've always had, and it's something, but we can, in fact, if you want us to do, and you guys pick your top 5. We want to see them all, but pick who you think the best are.
Yeah,
So-
the problem is then we're having you pick who our candidates are.
Yeah.
Whereas if we look at all of them, we're choosing who our candidates
Yes.
are.
You're choosing the candidates, and this is your search.
Yeah.
Not ours.
How many years has ASBA been doing superintendent
Oh,
searches?
gosh.
I mean,
I
just
mean, at least 30 years.
at least 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
We've done hundreds of
I know.
searches.
currently, how many are you?
At the moment, we don't have any.
Okay, right now.
So you would be our
Okay.
number one. Number one. You'd be number
We
one.
would
One
be
for
special.
2026. Okay. I guess I'm going to ask the question in a different way. How many? Do you have a plan for how many? Because we may be on the front end of people needing something. How many is a logical number that you do at one time?
I am not going to give you a specific number. What I am going to say is that no one is going to be stretched too thin.
Okay. You have the
I am
resource.
very committed to making sure that whoever is working with ASBA and for ASBA has the resources they need and is able to do the work. Because if you're not, we're not going to build a reputation, and that's what we need to do now.
And
Because
Dr.
we
Smith
have,
would be our contact.
and Dr. Smith would be your contact.
Thank you.
Yes,
But we have a whole team.
you have a whole team.
Right. We have Bouncy Heidi.
Bouncy Heidi, yes, we got her too.
All right, well,
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
you.
So I have a question for you. When this whole thing said that,
We'll be joining
you were, when that,
virtually here in a minute. And sometimes.
yeah,
I don't
community
think-
questions.
The next one is
and answers
virtual.
period.
For now.
What do you think about that?
I know, she needs a blanket
I was just
over on the
thought
bench.
I thought it was a great.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
She had a rough day. Sleeping.
I know.
In a moment, you can use your phone to listen and speak to the meeting.
looking at my phone.
I don't need it.
You want me to call him instead of?
Yeah, make
texting?
sure that he's.
We've been texting, so I think
Okay.
he's probably trying to get on.
I'm
Dr. Steve Chestnut.
I don't know. There is. Go ahead. And we'll start with.
Do I need to do anything on my end? Are you
Steve is his name.
Steve Chestnut?
Chestnut.
She said Chestnut.
Steve Chestnut. That's what I heard. I never thought, I was looking up for the name right now. I was like, I don't know. I even heard who's going to be doing it. Because that's not who's
Go
sitting
back to
there.
it. Hello. Okay, how are you? Are you on our meeting? Yeah, we're getting, I got IT with me. He's the
Okay.
expert, and I think you are on.
He's coming on.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
I can't talk with
We're going to get through that.
She's sitting on top of the corner. Check there.
Everybody else logged in. Casey logged in.
Gift certificate, sign, show login.
His mouth isn't there.
No, the shelf over on the other side.
There. There he is. Ask him to say
Shelf
something.
where the popcorn oil is. Does she need a login?
Does Casey need to lock out so we don't get feedback?
If you look down the
What's that?
convenience store, there's a gift card for
Ask him to say something.
Steve, are you getting all that feedback on your end too?
I just,
What's that?
Are you getting all that feedback on your end? Can you hear it?
Yeah, here, does that help?
Yes.
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 Thank you. Okay.
can you ask, can he see the board or is he seeing me?
Are you able to see the board or are you seeing Casey? I think you've seen the board,
I
right?
can see 4 of you, yes.
Okay. All right, perfect.
There's
All
one
right.
more over here.
Well, good evening, and welcome to this special meeting for the presentations. You are the third and final
Okay, Jeremy.
presentation. And you can take it away.
Well, good evening, President Maglio, members of the board. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening. My name is Steve Chestnut. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes.
but one thing I need to let you know, we can hear you fine, is you do have 20 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, we're going to let you know, okay, that you have 5 more minutes. All right?
Good deal. I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
You bet.
So happy to be here tonight speaking with you. You know this is a very important meeting and a very important decision you have to make. I'm speaking to you tonight from New Mexico, so I apologize that I cannot be there in person. However, I do live in Scottsdale, Arizona, year-round, and so I'm actually quite close. But I'm a career educator. I was a superintendent for 21 years in the state of Washington. I was a superintendent for 6 years in the Maricopa Unified School District. And my last 2 years of full-time work, I was in the Scottsdale Unified School District as an executive director and associate superintendent. That's how we ended up living in Scottsdale. And also a good piece of trivia for you is that I was a finalist in Wickenburg back in 2009. And I did not get offered the job. Obviously, I was heartbroken at the time, but I was very impressed with the district at that time, and because it had a wonderful reputation. And I know that that reputation has continued. You hired Dr. Howard Carlson, who was actually an old colleague of mine as a superintendent in Washington State. And I know you made a good choice. He's a wonderful man, wonderful educator. And also I know that Dr. Barbara Femendini has followed him. So you've had a wonderful series of outstanding superintendents, and it's our goal to keep that streak alive because that's the kind of winning streak you want to have. So we're looking forward to this possibility of working with you on this search. Since 2020, since I retired from full-time work, I've been working part-time with Rain Associates, and it's work that I greatly enjoy. And since then, I've done 4 searches in Arizona. I've worked in other states as well. The most recent search we completed was the Littleton Elementary School District search. We completed that this past spring. And so we were able to place 4 outstanding superintendents in those positions. All 4 of them are still serving and doing very well. And we are really proud of the work that we did. But I and my team, we're very passionate about assisting governing boards in making this selection. We know how important it is. We have a passion for helping you get that done. And we know how important this position is to a school district and to your entire community. And as I said, I've enjoyed kind of refreshing myself on the details of Wittenberg Unified School District. Been very impressed with your website, your vision, your mission, your strategic portfolio, the wonderful things in place that have been moving the district forward and will carry you into the future with a new leader. So we're looking forward to that, working with you on that project. So hopefully you have the proposal in front of you. I don't have a bunch of slides tonight, but I would like to walk you through the proposal because I think it gives good detail on what our process would look like. So if you flip over to page 5, I'd like to introduce our team. I already introduced myself. It does list the searches that I've been involved with there in Arizona, Littleton Elementary, Madison School District, Alhambra, and also Balch Elementary School District. And 3 of those 4 superintendents were from the state of Arizona. One of them was from out of state, but he had good Arizona connections. So we pride ourselves in bringing the best candidates to the board. We pride ourselves in being a national firm. We know that the superintendent and school district business is very much a state-oriented business, and our team has great contacts in the state. We also have excellent contacts around the nation. And, I came from Washington State after being there for 35 years. There's other superintendents like that that are interested in moving to Arizona because it's a very desirable place to live, and you're a very wonderful school district that would be very attractive to candidates. Just to introduce the rest of my team there on page 5, Dr. Deborah Gonzalez. She's currently superintendent of the Phoenix Elementary School District. Also on the next page, page 6, Ms. Alexis Wilson. She most recently served as an assistant superintendent of human resources for Scottsdale Unified. We actually did not work together. She arrived about the time that I retired, but she's a very experienced district administrator. Next, Ms. Kathy Schoenfelder is our full-time office staff, which is very helpful. And then finally, Dr. David Fultes. He retired as the superintendent of the Carroll Independent School District in Texas in 2020. He is kind of our backup emergency person if somebody got sick or something, but he's a great resource to us. I would be your lead consultant in this search. I would be your contact person, and then Deborah and Alexis would be the 2 people who would be assisting me primarily on site. If you flip over to page 9, this 1-page summary gives you the best example of our process. Similar to the processes you just heard about, but we think ours works really well. We've been doing this for about 50 years, so we think we have it down pretty well. But this is a suggested process and timeline. We're very much aware of the fact that this is your search. We bring you recommendations, and then we work with you to make these recommendations work for your district. So this is a suggested timeline. All the yellow things, all the yellow meetings, yellow lines indicate a meeting, most of them with the board, but in some cases with the community. So you can see that there's a series of in-person meetings or virtual meetings as we go through the process. And then you can also see that there are 5 stages to our process. So stage 1 is the board input stage. And this is a sample timeline. It says that it starts on October 14th, which isn't going to work. But if you hired us this week, we would be ready to go by next week. So you could bump this timeline by a week and you could get exact dates. But obviously these dates would be subject to your calendar, your input. We want to hear from you to make sure that this timeline works because it's a very important document moving forward. So let's just use the sample timeline here as an example. We start on that first week, and in that first week, with you, we would finalize the timeline, and then we would do individual board member interviews. Myself, Deborah, or Alexis would talk to each of you over the phone for 10 or 15 minutes. We want to get an idea where each of you are coming from. It's only for our information. It's confidential. We're not going to share this with anybody else. We want to make sure we understand all 5 board members and where you're coming from. So that's what we would do in that first meeting. That first meeting would be virtual. We're always looking for ways to save you traveling money, and virtual meetings don't cost you anything. It's part of the base fee. So that's the most important meeting in stage one. Stage two is the profile development stage. As you can see, we would give your district technology department, an online survey link for input on the ideal candidate profile. Very important document that will be very helpful throughout the process. And that we would recommend being open for a month or so. You can see the approximate dates in there. And that survey would be available to parents, staff, community members. We even recommend that high school students participate in that online survey. And that gives you, once we compile that information in mid-November, that is one of the main pieces that you will use to come up with your ideal candidate profile. Because you want to know right now, in October 2025, what is your staff and your community, your parents, what are they looking for in the new superintendent? You want to hear from them. So that's one big part of that profile development process. You can see then on approximately November 6th, we would meet with constituent and stakeholder group representatives. Now, those could be 100% virtual, in-person always works better, or we could do both, which is very common for us to take 2 days or so to meet with community stakeholder groups. You would help us to identify who those people are. We would ask them a series of questions about what they're looking for in the new superintendent, what are the issues facing the district, and we will report back to you the themes that we hear. It will be anonymous feedback. We're not going to be quoting individuals, but you will know in October 2025 what your stakeholders think they need in the new superintendent and what are the issues facing the district. Those two pieces of information, the stakeholder, the summaries from the stakeholder meetings, and the profile, will help you make the final decision on the ideal superintendent profile. You're going to come up with 10 to 12 characteristics, leadership qualities that you're looking for in your new superintendent. And that is a very important list because that will go into your promotional materials. So that when people are considering applying, they will say, I have a good match for what Wickenburg Unified needs. And it's a very helpful profile. So that is a document that becomes very important in our process. So that's stage two. Moving on to stage three, which is recruiting. We will work with you to develop a promotional flyer. It will have those 10 or 12 characteristics in it. And then that is a very important document for potential candidates to be looking at. We would keep the application period open for about 2 months, and almost 2 months. We would include winter break. And this is an ideal time to be looking for a superintendent candidate. Candidates, because I've been there, I know how this works. Candidates enjoy having winter break where they consider what they're going to apply for. They can talk to their families and have time to prepare a good application. So you're also early in the process. You are really in a good place to attract the best candidates statewide and nationally. So that's stage three. Moving on then to, in other words, we would end the application period on approximately January 4th. We bump that a week if you hired us because this timeline's off a bit. But first or second or third week of January would be the deadline for application material. Stage four is candidate presentation. We would meet with you and we would finalize interview questions. We assist you in that throughout the process. And then we would present to you the top 10 or 12 candidates according to your ideal candidate profile. Now, we will make every single application available to you. If you disagree with our top 10, that is no problem at all. You can choose another complete different top 10 because you may have. We think we're going to be in good communication with you so that we've never seen that happen. However, we believe you're hiring us to help you expedite this process. We're not going to impose our will on you. We will give you the reasons why we're recommending these top 10 or 12. You have access to everything. You can disagree on who moves forward. Very transparent process. It also includes a one-way video of the top candidates so you can see how they are in person, well, at least on video. And it's a one-take opportunity. You've probably seen these videos. They can't rehearse them. They can't practice them. It's something we have to do extemporaneously. Then we would recommend candidates in the first round be interviewed virtually. the stage on travel somewhere around the end of January, and then you decide after that who goes on to the second round. If you want to do first round in person, you can, but we would definitely recommend the second round be in person. We recommend stakeholder involvement, which takes us into stage 5, and then we wrap it up, and hopefully first week of February or so, you would name your new superintendent. You flip over to page 20. A few more details I want to share with you. Right page here. Page 20, we also have a partnership with the Center for Effective School Operations. The short acronym for that company is CISO, our partner company. They offer strategic planning, operational assessments, executive onboarding. We can provide a full slate of services to support the new superintendent as he or she moves forward in the role. Also a very important thing to do. If you flip over to page 22, you can see our estimated cost sheet. Our base fee is $16,000. The next section is consultant travel, which would be pretty minimal considering that all of us live close. It's only about $100 in travel, gas money for us to drive up and back in a day. According to our schedule, you need 2 of us on 2 different occasions. That's about $400. You can see that travel subtotal is listed as $2,000, so it's way higher. That's $1,600 higher than I would anticipate. Then, of course, there's board-approved advertising, probably going to be somewhere around $2,750. You get to choose. There are a menu of options for you to choose from. So that would bring the total cost down there, not to $20,750, but $19,150. And then you can see on top of that, there are candidate expenses. If it's an in-state candidate, it's relatively cheap. If somebody from out of state, it's probably $2,000. But there are additional candidate expenses that you're going to want to consider. They also have a price match guarantee that we will match the price of any competitive bid if the bid is for a comparable level of service and support. Please keep that in mind. You don't want to be outbid for this job. Next page, page 23, is the list of references. Littleton Elementary School District, North Mason School District in Washington, North Thurston School District in Washington. I was the lead consultant on all 3 of those searches. We have outstanding superintendents in those 3 positions. You're welcome to contact those board presidents for a reference. You can see on that page, satisfaction is guaranteed. The superintendent departs from the position during the first year under any circumstances, or within 2 years if a majority of the board is still in place, and departure is due to dissatisfaction and not health-related matters, personal or familiar reasons. We will recruit new candidates for the board at no additional cost, barring travel, advertising, and due diligence expenses. So that is our guarantee. And I think you have the sheet that says, so what sets us apart? I know my colleagues just got done presenting. They're good firms. I know that. We think that we are set apart because of our people. We have full-time office staff to take the burden off of district staff. We will work in the district staff, obviously, but our goal is to take the burden off of district staff and the board in this instance. Number 2, our placement. We proactively seek applicants, and we provide the 2-year guarantee that I just mentioned. And finally, our process. We think we have a great process. We do extensive professional background checks, internet checks, and do a third-party comprehensive background check on finalists. And we have a great process. So if there's any questions I can answer, I'd be happy to do that.
Maybe you have questions for Steve? Okay.
Always, I have questions. Okay, Ron Alexander here, Steve. On page 21 of your document there, and I may be misreading this, but that's piece in red there about background investigations. And the way I read it is you say that you will do this on one of the top candidates?
Yes. We provide that comprehensive background check on one. We recommend that typically there are 3 finalists. You might have 4, you might have 2. If you want, we would strongly recommend that you pay for those additional third-party background checks. They range from $250 to $400, and that's the additional cost also that was not listed on the price sheet.
Okay. All right, another question on page 16. They're under stage 3 recruitment and screening. And it states that you search an extensive, well, I'll read the whole thing. Using the newly created profile as a guide, Brand Associates will begin searching our extensive network of professionals to find the perfect match. So it sounds like there that your search is going to be on a database of candidates that you already have.
Yes and no. We do have about 2,000 plus candidates that are registered with us and want to receive emails from us when we have an opening. However, the majority of candidates that we recommend over the past 10 years have been not registered with us. We get 25,000 hits a month on our website. We've been around for 50 years. If you're looking for a superintendent position, you go to the Brand Associates website. Then if you go to the American Association of School Administrators website, those are movements you always look at. So yes, we try to get the word far and wide. One reason we do that is because we know that all of those people that are registered in our database have contacts, and they're going to help us get the word out as well. So we just use it as a way to get the word out nationally. We also have 40 associates like myself are working nationally, and we get the word out to them to ask for candidates that might be a good match. So we try to do it both ways.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else have questions?
I do not.
Okay. Steve, I don't have a question, but I do. My first year on the board was 2009, and so I sat across the table from you when you interviewed. I do remember you now that I've watched you talk this long, and I remember Dr. Carlson and you guys came from the same neighborhood, as you will. So I just wanted to mention that. I do remember you.
Yes, I do recall, and I cried for a while about that one, but you got to move on, and I was happy to end up in Maricopa as well.
Good. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Steve. We're going to deliberate here and see if anybody is ready to make a motion, because we are going to move to our action items, which we're hoping that we pick one of the firms now. Is anybody ready for any kind of a motion to roll this out, or?
Yeah. I am, but I'd like to say just a couple things first.
Absolutely.
And for Steve, he can't see me because I'm not in the picture.
Oh.
Karen Steen, board member. I just wanted to say, first of all, that with our mission, I think every single presenter here tonight hit on our mission. And our mission has been revised in the last 6 months, 6 to 9 months. And so we are very proud of it and very happy about the part about the unified community of support, because I think the facilitation or the consultant firm that we choose to help us do that becomes part of that unified community of support. They become part of our community at that point for at least the next few months, and I think that's important, and not someone that feels like an outsider, if you will. There were many different things. I went over all of these at home this week, and then now to hear people tonight, I know being able to work with the different personalities that would be presented, who we would be in contact with. I think that we've hit on that with everybody. But I am ready to make a recommendation unless there's more discussion. Okay, I would like to move that we choose ASBA as our representative for this. I think that I was most impressed with the transition plan, the board president playbook, the rubrics for assistance. I'm that English teacher, I'm the rubrics person, right? And I was able to attend something at the law conference that helped me understand this process more as the newest, and I was going to say youngest, but I'm probably not the youngest. I'm the newest. Susan, I'm the newest board member, and so I was able to listen into the law behind all of this, and I think that gave me a perspective coming to this. So with that, I would like to make the motion that we choose ASBA to move us through this process.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All in
Aye.
favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Everyone else has left the call.
I'm just checking out.
I guess he didn't like that. But I,
No, I'm
This is my
in now,
third
so as long as I
superintendent search.
stay.
But I mean, just our seats.
yes,
Oh.
and so I'm very comfortable
No.
with that.
Is there gonna
Is
be-
And
it
Mark,
sitting
this
there?
doesn't
Why
take
don't
away
they move
anything
over
from
there?
you. I appreciate you and I appreciate you being here.
Just
done well for you.
For the video.
For the video, for him.
Yeah, I mean, look at our
Promise
track
me
record.
good
I've been on the
ones.
board for
Yeah.
16 years and yeah,
Presentation.
we don't have anything broken right now that I
And
know of.
He's the only one.
Except me.
They just couldn't send it.
Yeah. I know.
All right, make a motion to adjourn.
Move it.
Are we
Thank you,
adjourned?
sir.
Can we
Thank you.
shake
Wait, we
hands?
need to.
I made a motion
Right.
to adjourn.
Oh,
Second.
thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's
Opposed?
important.
Motion carries. Our special meeting is now
Who seconded?
adjourned.
Karen, you did?
Gonna call this meeting to order at 6:38, October 14th, 2025. If you all join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm not going to forget at this meeting. Adoption of the agenda, please.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda for October 14th, 2025 as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And then we're starting out with our recognitions. Anybody on the board have any recognitions this evening? I don't. Ron, anything for you?
I just wanted to quickly recognize that our teachers worked really hard as they're moving up to fall break. And it's kind of one of those things that couldn't come fast enough, I know, but they taught clear up to the end. We were, I saw that here anyway, but I'm sure everywhere. And I want to applaud that because that's tough to do before fall break, Christmas break, spring break. It's tough to go all the way to that last bell. So I want to thank them for that.
Thank you. Dr. Ramandini?
Well, I want to just welcome everybody back from fall break. I hope everybody had some good time. I know all of our employees needed fall break. And anybody in this room knows this, I begin every meeting with a celebration. So you have to do a celebration. And today we had cabinet. And I just want to thank and celebrate all of the district leaders who kind of held it together last week. Week before Casey was sick, last week I was out, might be stumping along. So we have a great team here, and I just want to thank our cabinet level and our district level and our school level administrators who really are. I think that what all of the presenters that we heard before said, they heard loud and clear. We have a very desirable school district because we have a great reputation because of our people from the governing board down to the classroom. So thanks to the people that are in this room for holding it together, whether you have leaders here or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. So the first item of business is our presentation from our Executive Director of Business Services, Mr. James Scott. And I thought you were trying to hide behind that pillar.
I don't know if we have there we go.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members. This is our annual reporting of how our M&O override funds were spent in fiscal year 25. As you were, districts can request a revenue control limit increase up to 15%. Currently looking to recovery for 10%, and we've had that in place since 1995. The current override was passed support teacher salaries, instructional support staff, and all day kindergarten. So how are those funds spent last year? All day kindergarten cost us about $162,000, about 18% of our net M&O override. The exploratory teachers such as music, art, those category classes was $336,116, 37% of our M&O. And then support staff of $401,361, 44.6%. So the override provided an additional $900,000 for salaries. That's it.
What took so long?
I just had one little question that just understanding this and override. So is there still money in there?
So yeah, the override renewed every year as long as it's in effect. So every age at the ask for to be voted on, and then if the vote is over, continue to vote no.
And it's a 3-year deal, am I correct? No. It's a 8-year deal.
No.
Oh, no?
No, it's 6 years. It's a 6-year override, and I think, Ms. Dean, if I may, Mr. Malio, when we designate, when we go out for an override and we designate what we're going to spend that money on, this percentage, it's 10% of our overall budget, and it is approved for 6 years. We have to be very transparent with the voters, so this is what we say we're going to spend it on. So what would happen is if we didn't have the override, we would likely incur a lot of these expenses anyway. It would just come away from other things that we could do in other areas. So we try to get the voters to approve the override every 4 years, depending on what the board's wishes are, because we don't start having a decrease, because then it's a 3-year decrease.
Got it.
I may be back to that 7 years.
So this is not a zero out, it is now continues, okay. Did I miss anything? I didn't look for those. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have questions for James? No? Thank you, James. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Promise. All right, so we've got a principal report for Hacienda Elementary, and our principal is Mrs. Carissa Hershwitz. And we'll see who's going to. Ron, do you want to start out?
Oh, yeah, just a second. I'm catching up here. I was running behind. Just give me a minute.
I noticed.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have a question, and it applies kind of to everybody. The enrollment number that you have listed here. I know, and your demographic data on the other, I know what the school improvement plan, that's what it's called. The demographic there, I was just curious how the numbers up or down, or, you know, were some there in August and then parents took them out and sent them someplace else, or, you know, how the numbers compared, if that was, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm trying to think of what the date is for the school improvement plan. I looked from the beginning of school, but there's a lot of students moving in and out.
Yeah, I was just curious. I know that next time you do up and down, you know, whatever.
We'll have it in the back number
from
this one to the next one.
All right.
I know that just looking at what I got from enrollment, pulling this energy report from July 28th, it was 20 student difference, but that's preschool.
Okay. No, the one thing that I like is the rearrangement of the presentations from what it used to be. It just seems to be more, I don't know, the way it's grouped just seems to make more sense to me, the way my mind works. I like that part. I really don't have any other questions. You know, I like the way it looks. The individual, you know, your general campus updates and all the different grades and, you know, what they're doing and everything was I like that part of it also. So anyway, that I don't have any other questions.
No.
Susan, do you have anything?
Nope.
I'm just curious.
Sure.
At first when I saw it, I had written down, why are there 6th graders at Hacienda? And then I saw that they're at special ed, but why are they in Hacienda?
Because they are of high needs. So we have a program that accommodates their needs where they wouldn't have the same services if they went up to Vulture Peak.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that before, so it kind of caught me off guard, and then I didn't see that on the side, and I go, oh, okay, but I didn't know why.
We've been close a couple times in the past with some students in making that decision about what's the best placement for them, and of course it's a IEP team decision, and the team decided that those students needed to remain at Hacienda.
Okay. Just curious.
It's a good question. Is that only? Yeah.
What else did
I do. Do you have another one, Sandy?
just on the benchmarks with second grade and fifth grade in math, they went down.
Went down.
Well, all your other ones were higher, and the
Oh, from the previous.
yeah, and it's not on page 3. Yeah, like you were 16% higher, 12% higher, and then you get to second grade and you're 1% lower.
So it's apples and oranges as far as students. So it's a totally
Right.
different group of students. When we come back for our December report, then you'll be able to see how
Those
those
students.
students specifically did. So,
Okay,
you know, a lot when you're looking at an August benchmark, you're looking at some summer slide and those sorts of
Right.
things that impact.
Yeah, because the same with
Yeah.
the reading, and again, it was second grade, and it was second grade and fourth grade this time, but second grade kind of stood out because they were lower on both things.
I don't know if you recall our discipline data from last year for first grade.
Yes.
Those are now second
I
graders.
do.
So,
And they're now in second grade.
and they are now in second grade. So they are doing great, and
are.
things are coming along.
Oh, good.
Okay, yeah.
Good. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, Tuesday seems to be a bad day. It's when your referrals are the highest.
Yep.
Yeah. But I have down here, great improvement, positive vibes, more parent involvement, which I'm assuming when I was looking at that we have more parents that are involved now than we had before, or maybe not.
I don't know how to quantify that. We have a lot of parents that are very active and in good communication with their classroom teachers, and we've got parent-teacher conferences starting this week, and it's been a revolving door of parents coming in and meeting with teachers. So on that level, we have parents that are signing up to be field trip chaperones and things like that. So as far as that, but I don't have anything to compare it.
Right.
You know.
Well, it
Yeah.
seemed like for a while there, you know, we were lucky if we got 2 parents that came and cared about what their kids were doing.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I'm,
Yeah.
you know, without the parent caring what the student's doing, I don't know how we expect the student to care what the student is doing. So that was my point. Hopefully that's true. Okay, I'm done. Karen?
Okay, I made a note about your first grade discipline data last year and how your second grade data, even though you made it a bullet point to say it has the largest number of referrals, it is a third of what they were last year when they were first graders. So congratulations to that, and whatever it is, whatever's going on there. And
There
it
were
looks
some
like
withdrawals.
you might have a different batch of first graders this year that are doing fairly well. So kudos to that. I do have a couple of questions. Just to make a note so that it's in our minutes, in last month's presentation, you had reported in SMART goal number 2 that there was an increase in that you were looking for an increase in proficiency by 15%. But that was different than what was in your school improvement plan. Now with this month's presentation, I believe it to be 12.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
so it is 12.
Yes, it was a
And
typo on the slide.
so you're looking to have that 12% increase. So,
Correct.
thank you for putting that in there so that we can get that.
Thank you for
minutes.
catching that.
And then you have in your ADA your ADA SMART goal of 2% that you want to raise by 2%.
Yes.
At the end of last year, you had 94% ADA. So are you looking for that to be at 96 then? Is that what we basically are saying? So what is your ADA as of first quarter or as of now?
So for August, it was 94% present, and for September, it was 93.
Some work to do.
We do, and one of the items that I am looking at is that we do have a few students who leave for medical purposes.
that, you know, it was one of those, maybe we should be getting them on our chronically absent list that is approved by the state, then it wouldn't count against us in this area. So
Good.
we're going to learn more about that and see
Because
what
they
we can do.
have to leave for that.
They have
It
to
is
leave for it.
required, yes.
Right, right. And it's a regular, like every Wednesday
Right.
afternoon, a student leaves for that purpose.
Great.
Yeah. Adds up.
I have no questions concerning your achievement. I can't see, I think you added some of your achievement data, and I can't get on my board docs tonight, so I'll have to look at that later.
Okay.
Thank you.
See, she's having issues too.
I'll do it later.
Mine will load and then it won't load and then
I
it'll
know,
load
it
and
just
then it won't
circles.
And the only thing I wanted to do, did you have anything else you wanted to ask her?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
Is I like your IXL activities. That's pretty impressive to see early. And then the only other thing I wanted to do was see if Billy's enjoying his position.
He is. He's finding his soft heart. Yes.
Because I remember when
Our SRO.
Oh,
good.
the new.
He's a 30-year veteran
Good.
street cop.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
wow. You gotta
Playing
get
with
those
you,
stuff
mentioned-
straightened
He's
right
finding
up.
his softer side. Yesterday, I subbed in the library and we did a lesson, and I dragged Billy willingly to assist. And we did a lesson on the Pledge of Allegiance and the preamble that the 4th and 5th graders do. And then we did a mosaic art project where you tear the newspaper and make the flag. And he was a little bewildered by torn paper. I made them clean up every piece. So he's
Awesome.
he's a great addition.
He really
He's-
is. I
he's
like Billy.
definitely looking out for us.
Yeah.
Good.
That's it. I mean, it's a great report. I mean, as they have already pointed out, I like going back to Ron's change of the layout over time, over my 15 years. I like the fact that you're identifying the teachers in those reports. That helps. Seeing those names enough is going to help.
Yes.
But anyway, it was a great report.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I do want to give special recognition. Just before fall break, we had all of our emergency responders that came out and let the students go through in an ambulance, and you're just like, oh my goodness. They got to touch and feel everything on all the vehicles, and we had the helicopter come in, and we haven't done that we had them for Christmas last year,
Awesome.
and that was wonderful, but we
Right.
haven't had them for Safety Day in a very long time, so it was cool to have everybody present.
Good.
So kids learned a lot.
Yeah, that was all way before COVID, the last time that they got to come out and do that.
Yeah, the helicopters, I don't think
Not for
it's
that.
come out since I've been there.
So
Yeah,
where do they
it's been a long
land?
time.
Where does the helicopter land?
In the back 40 on the 3-5 playground. Yeah, really cool. And to see where like somebody on a stretcher goes.
Yeah.
The kids are like, why can't I go in here? This is the one you can't touch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right.
Very
All right, well,
nice.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And our next principal report is from Festival Foothills and our principal, Holly Benessi.
Good evening.
Good evening. So we are going to, we'll start at the other end of the table and see if Karen can't get on her board docs, but I don't know if you have
I
a
can't,
question.
but I have my questions right here.
Perfect.
First of all, I gotta tell you a funny story. One day I was on my way to a doctor's appointment, and I texted Barbara and I said, what is going on at Foothills? There are 1 million police cars there. And she's always good about letting us know when things are going on. And I said, there's like, what, I don't know, 8 or 10 police cars out front. And so it was nice that you invited them, I believe, for breakfast or lunch or a tour of the campus.
Yeah, the Buckeye, all the Buckeye SROs
That was
and
awesome.
within Buckeye are doing tours of all the schools.
Oh.
So in case something was to happen,
Yeah.
they're all familiar with the schools.
That was great.
It
was just kind of.
I know, and that's my bad for not letting them know. Dr. Amandini texted me. She's like, "Is everything okay?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Everything's great. I promise."
Okay. Couple of questions I have in your update bullets. I probably in math, I would guess. Well, first of all, with the math, especially the Acadians, I pulled out last year's for the first quarter, or this presentation from last year, and compared them. And my goodness, in all but one grade, you're up. You are up. I mean, that is amazing. From even in kindergarten, 38 to 44, first grade, 29 to 40. There's only one grade, and that was fourth grade. That was the only one that, well, I guess it was up to, I'm sorry, I'm reading it backwards. But then in fifth grade, from last year at this time to this one, that is one that went down. So, but I kudos to whatever we're doing. So that's great. I did have a couple questions with your bullets. There's a particular bullet, I believe it's the somewhere in there where you say that you're working on things. The PLCs are working to make changes. Let me just say that. What I want to say it this way. What does the work look like?
That they're continuing to they're continuing to work towards.
Yeah. What does that look like in the PLC when you have this student data and now we're working to make it better? We're working to align the standards. We're looking. What does that look like?
So we're working on a lot. So it's kind of multifaceted. So our PLCs, the first piece of work we're doing is working with getting our PLCs kind of solidified and working cohesively together. With having consistency, they've been doing a great job of meeting every week. So the fact that we have the consistency in the meeting allows our PLCs to come back week after week to talk about what is happening in their classrooms, what's going well, what's not going well, and then talking about what they want to accomplish before they come back the next week, and then being able to come back and say, hey, we did this, we talked about this last week, this is what we discussed trying to do, and it went well, or, we still need to continue looking at how we can refine that. So being able to really collectively work, especially we see it a lot with the new curriculum with Into Reading, is they're really having a lot of conversations about, because it's all new. So every unit, every lesson is new. So it's taking what they have done and what they understand about the standards and implementation of the standards and applying it to how is it working effectively? Like, is this particular activity impacting our students' mastery and proficiency? Do we see our students being successful? Are they getting this? And being able to really share with each other resources and application strategies of how to incorporate it. So it's working on helping our PLCs learn how to be a PLC, as well as through that helping them to work towards sharing data, talking about the benchmarks. That was a huge piece of the first several PLC meetings after the August benchmarks, where they were sharing their benchmark data and they're talking about specific areas of focus. And we're getting ready. We're about 2 weeks away from benchmark 2. Right now we have parent-teacher conferences, so it's kind of messing up a little bit of the scheduling, but we're going to be coming back, and now they're going to have 2 sets of benchmark data that they can now compare to the standards in the curriculum.
Okay, thank you for that. You wrote in one of your update bullets, there seems to be a need at the middle school level for effectively teaching on the block schedule, and that may dovetail into, I looked at the discipline data, the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock hour is a tough hour for you. And I'm wondering, are those middle schoolers for the most part? And then back to effectively teaching on the block schedule. And then I saw that you had an October PD for that. So just wondered what maybe what that looked like for the teachers, how they're responding to that, and what might be changing.
So we haven't had the PD yet because
okay.
PD Friday is next week.
Okay.
But I can kind of tell you a little bit about where it's coming from and kind of like what it's going to look like. It hasn't been fleshed out yet because it's next week. I have been really lucky. I've been able to get into every single classroom. Like the first quarter, I was pretty much in every single classroom every single day. You know, not for like 20, 30 minutes, but I was able to pop into every single classroom to get a really good feel of what's happening. And I saw some concerns and some trends in our middle school. I know that last year our 6th grade was self-contained, so it was just a 7-8 kind of mix. This year we moved 6th grade back into the middle school to have more of a traditional middle school feel. So there's more movement, there's more transition, and we know that the more students move, the more opportunity there is for students to, act in appropriate ways. It's also, we have about 85 middle school students, and it's a very small area for them when they're changing classes to maneuver themselves around. But in the classroom, what I've noticed is there's either a lot of worksheet after worksheet after worksheet, or here's computer, we're going to work on this computer, log into McGraw-Hill, we're going to, use the reveal, which all of it's fine, but it's within 10 minutes, the kids, there's some disengagement. And I've started meeting with every single 8th grader individually. I'm about halfway done with them, just getting a feel for how do you learn? What's going well? What do you, if your teacher could know anything about you and how you learn, what would you want them to know? And I got a lot of very, very honest answers from them. And I've shared that with the teachers, and the teachers have been very receptive, very open to it. So I'm hoping that fact that I've given them some information, I've had that back and forth, conversation with the teachers. They've told me how they feel and what they're concerned with and what they're struggling with too, that we're kind of all on the same page. And they've asked like, well, I had one of them, help me, what do we do? And so I think that's kind of where we're all at right now, because we do see an increase in behaviors. The teachers, I had a conversation with one of the teachers today, and they're like, they're so unmotivated, they're so disengaged. And I said, well, are we changing how we're approaching? Like, if independent work is where you're seeing kids are the most off task and the most disengaged, are we looking at what we're doing during independent practice and making adjustments or changing it to help get them re-engaged? Because there's other strategies. There's lots of strategies that you can incorporate. So that's going to be a big part of the PD on effective teaching in the block. It's going to be a lot about chunking, pacing. They're in that world between being a little kid and trying to be the high school kid that they're going to be in a year or two. And so because of that, we're in a great space where we can challenge them, but we can also say, let's cut and paste. Here are markers. Let's create something. Because that's where the kids are. We can get them to think critically, but we can also engage them with hands-on, getting their hands dirty with the content.
What a great answer. What a great response. That is, I was like, not expecting that, but that was great. No, that was a great response. But block scheduling is such a strange bird, and teachers do have to be trained in how to teach in that block. And you were spot on, and I've got to applaud you for the steps you're taking to reach the kids and the teachers. So thank you.
And that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I didn't want to just come at the kids. I mean, I'm coming at the kids pretty hard with accountability, but I also need to make sure that the teachers know that sometimes some of the behaviors we're seeing would not either be happening or would not be as extreme as what we're seeing right now if we look at what we're doing. And at the beginning of the year, one of the first things I told them was our current practices create our current results. So if we're not happy with what is happening right now, we need to look at our practices and see what we need to change.
Very good.
Kudos.
Thank you.
That
was awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy to see how involved you are with like, okay, well, let's talk to the students and find out, you know, because I think that's great because the teachers can say whatever they want, but talking to the student, I think, really makes a difference, and I'm happy to hear about that. I was also, if I was following correctly, when you were talking about the PLCs and all that, that this was done on a weekly basis?
They meet weekly.
Okay, so that makes me happy too, because you're finding out right away what's working, what isn't working. Not that you go a whole blue semester and then go, oh God, well that didn't work. Now let's try something else. So the fact that you're staying on top of it and, you know, tweaking it, because no matter what we think might work, doesn't mean it does. And the fact that you're on top of it, and, you know, that just makes me happy. So far tonight, I'm pretty happy. I was being pretty nice to Carissa. Just joking. No, but I really like that because you seem like a principal who's involved and knows what's going on and are looking at solutions. And that's the kind of principals that I admire and like.
Thank you.
Hey, Sandy, Susan, anything?
Good job.
Thank you.
Ron, your turn.
Okay, but I too was very impressed with the fact that you're interviewing each of the individual 8th graders.
It's taken me a little while. I'm about halfway done. And then I'm going to move on to the 6th graders because that's where we're having our biggest.
Very nice. That's a great plan. Love it. Okay, a couple questions. One, on your, right below in your update portion of after the math Acadians, you make a statement that all classrooms have a math goal posted in the classroom based on benchmark mark. I was just curious, so they're posting it, what's the student seeing?
So thank you for asking. So based off of their benchmark, teachers actually have an ELA goal and a math goal, and it was based off of their benchmark 1 data. When we were going through it and we were analyzing the data, and every teacher had a data meeting, and the expectation was as they create those goals that they are posted and visible in the classroom, and it's shared with the students so that the students also know where they stand. Because to me, it's very important that we're teaching our kids and they're learning at the same time, but they have that goal. Like teachers, educators, we set goals all the time. And sometimes we forget that kids need goals too. So being able to share with the kids the goal and track their progress towards meeting that goal gives the kids incentives. They know what they're working towards, and then they feel success too. And then when we do benchmark 2 coming up in a couple weeks, we're going to go back and we're going to look at their goals and be able to say, did we meet our goal? Well, celebrate that academic achievement with your students. Are we not quite there yet? That's fine. Celebrate the success that we've made to those goals. But the goals, my expectation with the teachers is that the kids know what they're working towards. So it's not just something that's posted in the room in the back corner that nobody has any idea what's happening. That's my expectation. Is it happening in all the classrooms yet? No.
Okay.
We're working on it.
But I mean, so it's like, is it like a graph or something
They can do
they're
it.
looking at, or what are they doing?
Yeah, they can do it however they
Okay.
want to, as long as when I go in and do either like the walkthroughs or I'm beginning my formal evaluations coming up next week, I kind of walk around the room because I talk to kids, and I also see, like, I'll read their standards. Every time I'm in the classroom, I'll read what they've posted for their standards and their, agenda, and I look for their goals, and so it's a whole, yeah.
Okay.
process.
Thank you. One other question. This is, other people may know what this is, but I don't. On the, I gotta get down to it. It's at the end on page 15. Under the, what's happening at festival Purple Foothills section in the second grade.
Okay.
For example, on math, determining place value of a digit. 2NBTA1.
She gave the standards. She gave the standard numbers.
Okay.
So she was like, I actually was just noticing that. I'm like, oh, she included the standard codes
Okay.
for the state
I
standards.
had no idea what, and it was only in that grade.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have any idea what all these letters and numbers equated to. So, okay. Just curious. I didn't know what. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really don't have anything. They've covered it. Well, Karen actually covered it for us. Appreciate it. Good report.
Can you come back to me?
Come back to Sandy.
Can you come back to me for a second? Next time you do the benchmarks, will you show us whether they're lower or higher than what the previous ones were?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Oh, that was easy. Okay. All right. Now we've got Vulture Peak Middle School and Mr. Scott Beckus.
Okay. I might need to.
Before the board starts, I wanted to take note that I see how you changed the BHAG. Do you have it?
Change the what?
The BHAG, our big,
Harry,
audacious goal.
And you call it our wild and crazy goal.
Yeah, I let him
I
take
love it.
liberties with my favorite saying in the
Yeah, I
world.
saw
I
that
haven't
too.
corrected him yet, but
I try to.
I
fit
meet with
thing-
him on Monday to.
I try to fit things to my personality. The other doesn't express my personality.
We'll see. That works well.
Yeah.
All right. So who would like to start for Mr. Backus?
I'm waiting for my thing to load up.
Okay.
Good luck. Ours is dead over here. I think it's this side of the room, Jeremy.
Do you need
Careful.
mine?
No, I think I'll be fine. She's got everything in this folder, so I can.
Okay.
She's got it back up.
Ron, do you want to start?
Okay. Yeah. No, nothing. I mean, the report data and everything is good. The question I have is on your PBIS graphs on the last one, actually, on page, the one that says referral by students.
Yes.
Okay, that one wasn't too self-explanatory to me, so, the bottom axis just says students, it's referrals by student. What does that chart really tell me?
So there's 27 students that have received a referral. So to me, I look at that and I say 7 of those students have received 3 or more. And so to me, I look and I go, those 7 students are people that we need to focus on.
Okay.
Repeat offender.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what that was right off the bat, and it says referrals by students. And initially, I thought, oh, these are students turning in other students.
Oh, there you go.
I was curious why we had Friday when we don't have school on Friday.
I'm sorry?
I wondered why we were having a referral on Friday when we don't go to school on Friday.
Is there something, maybe the date was just marked wrong?
It just says
Probably.
referrals by day of week, and it says
Which graph are you looking at?
on page 7 of 17.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good question.
And by day of the week?
And it says
Oh,
Friday.
it looks like one referral accidentally got marked on a Friday instead of a Thursday.
Okay, because it's like, oh, I didn't think we went to school on Friday. We got a referral.
That kid was really in trouble.
bad. He was so happy he came to school
Yeah.
on Friday.
So yeah, there's one referral that accidentally got marked on a Friday.
Oh, listen, who's talking?
You.
Oh, okay. I was looking at your IXL, and I'll tell you what caught my eye is that the time spent, it says 501 hours, but there was a good chunk of it that was spent at home. And 99% of the time when I look at these, the time spent at home is so small I need a magnifying glass. So I was very impressed that kids were spending that much time at home working on it. That's on page 8.
Yeah, you know, I've talked to kids a little bit about, not a lot, a little bit about IXL. And some of them, I've had 2 kids tell me that when they are home and they're bored, they are entertained by it. So I don't know if that's all of them, but I do know some kids just enjoy logging into it and working on skills. But,
I just
yeah,
know
I don't
that-
want to try to say that's everybody, but I do know
But
I've had
that
a
jumped
couple
out at me
kids.
because the time spent at home has always been so minute, you couldn't even barely see
Yeah.
it. So that kind of jumped out at me because it was like a lot of green there. My other question is, in there you had that they have before school tutoring and lunchtime tutoring, but there's no after school tutoring. And is that true, and why not?
In the past, the after-school tutoring was paid, and we don't have that grant anymore. So that's a bit of that. Also, because it is teachers offering time to do that, I do give them the discretion of when would you want to do that, and not every teacher does it. And so I have specifically an ELA teacher and a math teacher that offer it. One offers it in the morning and at lunch. Another offers it just at lunch.
Okay, because my comment on that was, I understand there's kids that come early and, excuse me. And so I can understand they would have some time to do, but no kid is going to go to tutoring at lunchtime. I mean, that's the time when they're like free, they get to get rid of all their anxieties and go run around a little bit and
They
stuff.
want to see their friends. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, they want to see their friends and
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
agree.
like a.
I agree.
I know. I think it was out at Morristown. They did a switch. They let the kids go out and play before they went into lunch, because they found out the kids ate their lunch a whole lot better because they'd already been out running around and playing, and then they would come in and eat their lunch and weren't trying to shovel it in to go out and play. So I guess what I'm getting to is it doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot of time that we're doing tutoring.
I'm sorry?
Doing tutoring.
So I would agree. Here's to me a bigger question. There's about 15 students that get tutoring. So you're looking at not quite 10%, right? 132 students. So not quite 10%. So I looked at that and I thought, who's getting tutoring? So it's not necessarily somebody consistently getting tutoring, which to me would be more effective. It's a student that wants to get their grade up. So they're motivated to come in before school and at lunch because they're trying to get their grade up. And I noticed during soccer and volleyball season, some students were a little more motivated. So I look and I go, are we tutoring in the best sense, or are we helping a student get their grade up? And there is a difference, of how much a kid is really learning when they're just working on an assignment. I mean, hypothetically, that should be also growing in our knowledge, but it isn't always. So I would also question, are we really being effective? Just if I can say, hey, we're doing morning and lunch tutoring, I'm not so sure that's necessarily effective. It is for some, but in the strongest sense.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
So, and I think you bring up a good point with that as well.
And then this one really has nothing to do with grades or anything. How often do you have that snow cone and cotton candy thing going?
So we're meeting on that this Thursday, actually.
Just on Friday.
Because I think are you showing up that day? Yeah, that's it. We're meeting this Thursday, the PBIS committee, because I don't think the eighth graders are as motivated. They don't want the little toys and trinkets, but they are motivated by snow cone machines, cotton candy machines. So we're gonna this Thursday try to put a schedule. If you offer cotton candy every week, then they get bored with it. But if it's something that's on
I
a
would hope to God you
rotation,
didn't, because they'll be coming off
Yeah.
the ceiling. I mean, cotton candy is nothing but pure sugar. I mean, you're talking 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that are already coming off the ceiling, and now you want to give them cotton candy.
ricocheting off the walls. Yeah, no, I know.
I think that's
You just
give
gotta
them
do
an
it right
orange.
before they go home.
Give them an orange or an apple.
Send them home.
Give them all the
Yeah,
sugar.
and they are
send
not
them-
motivated by oranges and apples.
They get the cotton candy
Well,
on the
they
way out
learn.
the door.
But yeah, I mean,
Um,
I would hope that when you're getting this, they're on their way home, because these poor teachers have enough of a problem with
And
these
see,
kids.
that can be that we make that their last, like the last 30 minutes, you go to a cotton candy party or whatever. But it's not just that. We don't want to just offer that. When we meet Thursday, I want to talk about things like some tournaments. Let's say if eighth graders had a scatter dodgeball tournament. If you scatter dodgeball is it's you against the world. It's not a team against a team. But if you could participate that, win a prize, but just the fun of competition and try to create some fun. It shouldn't be all about, I agree, all about cotton candy, whatever, whatever food item. It does motivate kids, but I want to try to
But for the
find
wrong reason.
things that are outside of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would really like to see that. I mean, there's got to be something else to motivate them besides
I agree.
sugar and more sugar.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, I don't think these kids need any more sugar. you know, but looking here, they're playing the Scrabble board game or whatever. I mean, I do think we need to come up with candy and stuff. Is what?
Nothing.
Oh, candy and stuff is easy, but I think we should come up with something a little bit more creative that's not going to send them up to the ceiling.
Yeah, that Scrabble was, that's a teacher being innovative, trying to come up with something that kids have to really.
Use their brain.
Yeah, very much. I was really impressed, and I've gone in there and watched kids playing, and they're enjoying it, and it's good for them.
Okay, yeah, I was,
You good?
I guess so.
Okay, good. Susan, do you have anything?
No. Nothing here
Just
today.
kidding, Susan.
Got anything
Keep
else,
going.
Sandy?
I'm sorry.
Do you have anything else?
No, heaven forbid.
Okay.
Are you sure?
No, but go ahead.
Ron, do you have anything?
I've already been. I already
He
talked
did.
to
I
him.
know, I know you started the whole thing, but
Wow.
Nothing else.
okay, good.
Do you want to go perform?
No.
Okay, I just have a couple. First of all, I do want to say, and probably should say this to all of them, the pages that you have about the classrooms and so forth are amazing to us.
Yes.
We love that, and I like that in your section, you also included the ELL, the ESS, the counselor corner, all of those specialty areas, and let them do some reporting in too, so I really appreciated that.
Thank you.
I do have two questions concerning specifically with your school improvement. Back to the tutoring, do the kids sign in so that you know exactly how many kids are participating in the tutoring? And then related to that, how are you going to use that to measure if it's helping or not?
So I talked to the teachers and asked them who, so they're not signing in, I asked the teachers.
The teachers are keeping a record.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And then, how are we going to use that? So I think something I mentioned before was me looking at how it's becoming more of I need to get my grade up compared to tutoring. But I also understand a student, like, would you want to give your lunch up to, I want tutoring to get better at skills if it doesn't affect my grade. And so I think when you say, like, how are we using this, is for us to take a look and go, how better can we tutor students?
And more, my question, and you don't need to answer it, just thinking about it, is, and how are you measuring it? I think you already have figured out there might be a dichotomy between the two ways to use it, but how will you measure if tutoring is having an effect on your school improvement goals? That would be something to really maybe figure out.
I could answer that.
Okay, good.
Is that okay?
Yes,
So
please.
if you remember before, I talked about exit tickets.
Yes.
So we did professional development on exit tickets, and with the expectation that we wanted to start seeing exit tickets in the classroom. So with that, we should get data. And we're going to actually complete that training next week, the exit ticket training, to really finalize it. So we should start getting data that we can record, that we can see which kids are proficient at which standards and which are not. And then that'll make it easier. So we talk about making effective tutoring. Are we working on the standard? Does the work that they're doing match a standard, and is this one they need to improve on? Because it should be they could do that exit ticket again and succeed on it. So I think those exit tickets, I really do look at that as for this year. That is one of my key foci. I don't know the word for that. But to me, that's a key focus is getting those exit tickets. It not only helps the kids, but I think it really focuses the teaching, the instruction that a teacher has, if they know they're focusing on that exit ticket.
I'm a very strong supporter of the exit tickets, but then those can also be used then for tutoring the next morning.
Yep.
So just having the teachers keep a record of that extra little tutoring, even though they might not be the teacher being paid for tutoring, it's still tutoring. But so that's an excellent
the question
approach.
is, how do we get a kid to give up their early morning with friends or their lunch for that? Right? That there's somehow we have to figure that piece out.
Well, more power to you, but it's a good start. Thanks. When you presented at a couple last month, I believe it was that last month that we started this process? You said you had 3 students. I'm going to your mentoring program now.
Oh.
You said you had 2, maybe 3 students already at that point a month ago that you were saying they're going to be part of our mentoring. So today I'm asking how many students are in that tier 2 for your mentoring program? How is it going? How have you tweaked it? What's that looking like this month?
So we have those same 3 students with 3, what I just say, on deck, that I'm looking at how can we include this. I don't want it to be a big group that we overwhelm a couple of those teachers. How's it going? I'm waiting for one student to come back from suspension. But I told you even last month, I do not think of this as some quick fix. To me, this is building relationships. And if you were to say, what growth have I seen? I can easily tell you, there's a big difference of suspending a student, having them cuss you out, flipping you off in front of all the students, which did happen, versus getting suspended and just hanging your head and feeling bad. And to me, that comes from building relationships. So I look at that and go, that's a win. Yeah, you did get suspended. But the way, and when he comes back, that to me is the message, is I want to say the way you handled that showed character. So, it never will be an instant change, and I don't ever want to present it that way. But I do want to see improvement in character, and I at least have one anecdote that says, hey, I'm seeing a student improve. So,
Great. This is just a little side note. Just real quick. You know, the comment was made how we like the fact that Carissa had on what teacher for the math, the science, and you have nothing. There's no teachers' names. So it would be nice to have the teachers' names on there so that we know who's doing what.
So,
yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gill and Mr.
Please.
Malio, if I may, I actually had him remove the names because at the time he put them on there, we had 3 long-term subs and it was very confusing who was a permanent. So I said for this board report, remove the names. So I want to give him credit for having the names on there. And then it was just confusing as an outsider because we had people that had come and we still have a teacher who hasn't shown up yet and long-term sub. So just trying to keep it cleaner. So I will take responsibility.
Well, thank you for
and let
taking
you know that
responsibility.
he did exactly right. And then I said, let's not do it this time. Let's get our staff stable before we do that. So,
But, you know, long-term subs are people too.
Right.
I mean,
That's a bumper sticker right there.
That's good to know. My
Long-term
goodness.
subs are
Well,
people too.
well, there were some there were vacant spaces. There were people covering. He was covering. So it wasn't a complete report. So we looked at it as a whole. So.
all right.
I think that's
Is that
good news.
better
Well, when
now?
you have a staff, could we see who they are? Thank you.
We'll make it our special foci.
Okay.
there you go.
I had something I'd throw it at you.
It can't be a special foci because that's one. That's
Exactly.
a focus. Yeah.
Or it can be a wild and crazy goal.
I was just gonna ask, the kid you were talking about, the suspension, how long is the suspension?
Just one day.
Oh, 1 day? Okay.
Everybody else good? Sandy, did you want to continue? I'm plugged in now, so I was worried about my computer dying before.
Me too, but I'm plugged in too.
So do you have anything else for her?
No, I'm done.
You're good?
I wanted to say something. I know, I
He's
forgot.
not getting one of these?
No, I forgot earlier that I always enjoy it when principals tell me about technology. So thank you to the principals who told me about technology and STEM programming and all of that fun stuff. And Carissa, where are we on the technology? Are we doing the after school thing again?
The coding?
Yes.
Yeah, it was in her. It was in.
I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. Okay. So see, I love hearing about it. Thank you for doing it. Technology is my life, and
Now it is.
go math.
And thank you, Scott, for waking her up. Anyway, I think everybody else, Ron got to go a couple times, Sandy went. Okay, we're good. Scott, thank you so much.
Thank you
I
all.
appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes.
Oh, as you retreat to your seat, I do have one question.
Oh, jeez.
Clarification. Going to Sandy's point about the IXL working from home, a prior administrator had mentioned, and I want to see if I'm correct in remembering this, that it's not specifically that they're at home, it's just outside of school hours, that IXL counts as at-home hours. So I mean, if they're at tutoring after school or whatever, or they come in on Friday, and so it's not specifically that they're sitting at home doing IXL. They're doing it at school, but it's outside of school hours. Is that correct? Is that?
I don't know.
I am right.
So when she mentioned that, I honestly looked at that stat and I was thinking, I need to see what's happening there because I thought that was a pretty big. Is this being recorded correctly? So how about if I look into that? Because I honestly wondered about it too.
I had some nods.
There's
from the,
that many hours of kids at home enjoying IXL.
I doubt it.
It doesn't sound
tutoring.
Give them
normal.
It's just, it's IXL they're doing outside of the regular classroom, is that what?
It's outside the school day. I think that, I don't know if it starts at 3:30. I know last year, Anne Marie described it as the time, there's a lag, waiting for the big one, waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
And she's just putting them in the library. I don't know if that's still happening or not, but
Well,
that's.
we have before school, where kids are in the library
That's
for
probably counting.
almost an hour.
Yeah.
And so some
It's
of
counting.
them could be doing that. That could be where.
You know, someone said,
You
I don't know.
burst my bubble.
I don't know if it
everybody.
was to you or
You're
to Holly, but that I excel. Sometimes the kids just like it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I had the opportunity when I was subbing here at Festival to actually see it in action, to see what it is, and it actually is fun. It's almost like a computer game. I mean, it is a gaming animation and gaming, so I can see that. And some teachers will, you know, if you're done with your work, you can do this, this, or this, and one of those is sometimes I excel. It is motivating to some of those kids, and that instant gratification when you get something right. So I can see how it's engaging and fun.
Yeah. That's why I never got excited about it. I never got any of them right. So
Oh,
anyway,
it lets
Well,
you
thank
try
Scott.
again. It says
Appreciate
try
it.
again.
Yeah, I know. I exceeded my try. I wasn't
out.
I wasn't full guy.
You were a folk guy.
All right, so now we're gonna move along to call to the public. I don't notice that anybody in the public is here, so we're gonna bypass that. And we're gonna go on to our consent agenda. Does anybody on the board need anything pulled from the consent agenda before we take action? No? Let's take action.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items for October 14th, 2025 as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And then we move along to our action items.
Right here.
And our action items are loading here. All right, so I saw you get prepared. All right, so
I just set my lid because, yeah, we're all there.
So we've got our approval of the financial reports presented by our Executive Director of Business Services once again, Mr. James Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. Board members, you have in your packet the September 25 Business Office Report. You probably noticed that our expenses compared to last September are significantly higher. I did provide an explanation to that though, but I'll just do a really quick review of that. A good portion of that was for some beautification projects, planted grass, which caused our water bills to increase significantly. Those have leveled off, and then we also did some light replacement at Festival, which required a scissor lift to be employed, so that cost us some money. This year, we also have another student attending a private day school for special education, so that increased our cost about $50,000. But we do have another student transitioning back, so hopefully after next month, we'll start seeing that cost come down a little bit. Our diesel fuel costs were significantly higher. Part of that's being set off though because we are running a route at Aguila, and we're also running our bus routes. And then the sprinkler repair for the round gym cost us almost $17,000. That's kind of the contributing factors, if you will. So same thing in capital, but we did purchase, made a significant payment for IXL, and then also additional materials for the Hoot and Mifflin that we paid part of last month and part of this month. So that's the reason why those costs are, but our budget balances are still positive. Our unique expenditures over $10,000. Hoot and Mifflin, we paid $55,777 for a curriculum adoption. We paid Brady Industries $13,909 for maintenance and custodial expenses. IXL was $22,087. Imagine Learning, which is our WVA platform, $35,212. And then Copper State Fire Protection, $16,604 for the sprinkler repair. And then finally, our compliance issues. The business office required our mandatory annual state retirement training. As you know, we did our budget revision in September on the new required budget forms from the Auditor General. And we spent most of the month closing out our FY25 and our annual financial report. And then we also submitted our compliance procurement report to the Mojave Cooperative Contract. So our budget balances are positive. We are in compliance. We had no surprises except for the sprinkler, but we handled that. Any questions?
I'm just curious, the IXL
Mhm.
cost, how often is that?
Once a year.
Once a year?
Once
Okay.
a year.
I have the same question for Imagine Learning for WVA.
Typically, once a year, we'll get some in once in a while if they need to buy more seats, but it's usually not over $10,000.
So this is purchased by seat number and
Yeah. So
but
like if
right
they,
now we know.
for some reason, get 10 more kids and they need to buy a few more seats.
Then you might have to.
But it probably wouldn't show up in the report because it would be less than 10,000.
Okay.
So we had to eat that 17,000. That was our portion.
So yeah, so since that's not a student area, school facilities board would not cover it. Our insurance company pays for the damage, just like homeowners insurance. They pay for the damage, but they don't pay for the repair.
Huh. Is that how that works?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you should.
What kind of insurance do
You have the wrong insurance, right?
Yeah, you got the wrong insurance. Mine paid for both.
Power wheel.
Deductible.
No.
That's what a deductible's for. I only have a deductible.
Any other questions for James? No?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. And then we move along to Part B for James is the approval for the annual financial reports, the AFR.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. You do have in front of you the FY25 annual financial report. As suspected, our revenues were lower than prior to FY24, primarily due to lower student enrollment and then also the sunset of ESSER 3. Our expenditures were 14% less than what the approved budget was, so we spent less. We did have a few areas where we had some increased costs, special education compared to FY24. Special education costs increased 15%, transportation costs went up 25%, largely due to repairs, but we now do have a full-time diesel mechanic, so those costs should be going down. Our utility costs increased 12%, and then we did have our revenues were a little offset. We did got some additional funding from the state to pay the Quasimar lawsuit, but we were really just a pass-through agency. So they said, "Here's the money," and then they took the money. So, so it kind of balanced out. Yeah, they didn't let us keep the lawsuit money. So those were kind of our big overall.
Well, that's not fair.
But I think the good news was we did expend 14% less than M&O budget and about 37% less than the capital approved budget.
Good job.
Any questions for James on that? We will sign this before we all leave
Yes,
tonight.
please, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the annual financial reports, AFR, fiscal year 2025 as submitted.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Appreciate it. All right, action item C is the first reading of all of those policy advisories. Anybody have any discussion they need to entertain on any one of those advisories? That's good news. Okay. All right, so then we move along to item D. Is the Arizona School Boards Association proposed bylaw changes and finding a delegate from our district to offer our vote. So, what were you saying?
I can if you want me to. Have to.
I think I need a law right now.
Okay.
I'll volunteer.
Oh.
So,
It's just
yeah,
submitting
I'll
a
just,
vote online.
you just have to submit. If
Yeah.
the governing board, you should have had all that information. You probably got it in multiple ways, whether you
Yeah.
want to approve
Yes.
the bylaws
Yes.
or not. So then Susan can be the person who
I'll
logs in.
volunteer to click the button.
Good girl.
We're all in support of that.
You're our
bylaw
technology
changes?
lady.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Susan.
Mhm.
So let's
You
get a
gotta make a
motion for this now.
We need a motion.
I'm
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't know what we were getting a motion for.
For this
Oh, go ahead.
we have to nominate.
action.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I got it right here.
Nominate.
I can
Go
do
ahead.
it.
Oh, Ron's gonna do it.
Okay, go ahead, Ron.
But, okay, make a motion to approve Arizona School Board Association proposed bylaw changes and approve Wickenburg Unified School District Governing Board member Susan as the
Webster.
designee to submit the vote on behalf of Wickenburg Unified School District Governing Board as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
That's your last.
And item 6 is informational items. It's items for future agendas. Anybody have anything that they like to throw out there? Okay, we've got our announcements on our calendars. Thank you for that, Casey. Lots of work goes into that, and
Could I ask a question about calendar for just a second? First of all, I did mention to Barbara that sooner than later, hopefully we get our January retreat on the calendar so that we all can make plans. And secondly, concerning our first meeting, if there's a list of calendar dates that are not regular session dates that we need to do concerning the getting ready for the superintendent search, will those be sent to us? Will we just find out at the next regular meeting? Because whatever the next steps are.
We have to schedule our first meeting.
yeah, I will, I'll get with Julie
Mm-hmm.
and we'll get something, and then we'll have that prepared for
The
by
November,
the November meeting.
because it appears that between now and our November meeting, a lot really probably will happen. Maybe. So I didn't know if that meant that we might, I don't know. You'll just communicate with us. That's what I need to know.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, I will definitely do that. I'll get with Julie and we'll get something.
Kind of a calendar.
So by November, yeah. Because Ron has given me some dates and
giving you more dates,
And
and
giving
taking
more
dates
dates.
away and everything.
and
so.
changed them again. So tomorrow you
And
can
I'm
send me
just
new dates.
holding the calendar till I hear from this body before I make any commitments elsewhere.
Okay. I wish Ron would have done that.
Yeah.
What were we saying, Susan?
Mondays are a great day for me. I don't have 100,000 other things. I'm just saying.
All right. Good to know. Thank you. All right. So with that, you look like you just want to say something.
I don't.
You just want to be done like I do? Okay, let's get done.
Yes,
No.
I make
All
a
right.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is